Well, hello, Echo Casters, and hello, Mr. Hans Volt. Yes, indeed. Here we are, once again, doing my thing. Yeah, so anyway, I found this very interesting. I have a couple of Arias. I've got this guy right here. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see that. It is the Roland E4. This is the vocoder with a looper built into it. It's very cool. Yo, what's up, Smarty? Smarty 1970 and Uncle Jerry. Hey, I watched your video, Uncle Jerry. I want to see what else you got, though. You know you got something else. Yeah. So anyway. So I like the Aira series. I guess that's how you say it. I'm bad with names as usual. But yeah, so I kind of like this thing. It's a little sampler. I think this thing's way cooler than the Teenage Engineering thing that they came out with that flopped, and then they had to redesign it because it flopped so bad. Had all kinds of problems with it. I was a big fan of Teenage Engineering stuff a while back, but I'm not anymore. That's just, it's who I am. But anyway, so yeah, I really like this thing. I don't know if I'm going to buy it. I'm probably not going to buy it. I've already put up on the Gear Exchange, the J6. I don't want that. You guys, if you tuned in earlier with Samurai, we talked a little bit about the J6, and it sounds great. It really does. It's got great sound. These little boxes have big sound. They really do. They're very tiny. And I just thought it was kind of cool. What I do is I was going to go on to Anderton's website, because that's the first thing I saw this morning. And I decided that, I was going to go on there and show you a little bit about what this can do, because I don't have one. But I thought it was very interesting that it's packed with a lot of cool stuff. So again, I'm probably not going to get it. But you never know with me, I'm always buying something. Hello, Mr. Samurai. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, the Rev 2 Slayer has arrived. That's what he's calling himself. He loves the sound of it, but he hates what it looks like. We get it. I like what it looks like. I like the way it sounds. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. All right. So here we go. I was going to play a little bit about this. And I thought it was kind of cool. So let's check this out. This is Anderton's with Jack, and I forget the dude's name from Roland, but this is a very cool demo. So let's go ahead and we'll check this out right now.
Hello, welcome to Anderton's TV. My name is Jack Duxbury, Ozzy's behind the camera, and my good friend Andrew Pimblott has made the journey down.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you for having me.
This is our 4,000th video together,
Pretty
and you
much,
brought something
yeah.
really special.
Yep.
What is it?
So, super exciting, this one. This is part of the Aira compact range. This is the brand new P-6 sampler. We've done videos before on the existing products in it. So we've got the T8 beat machine, which is drums. It's got a bass line. We do the E4 voice tweaker. We've got the J6 chord synth, which are programming arpeggios and chord sequences. And then last year we also did the S1 tweak synth. And they're all super fun devices. They sound great and like really, really inspiring things. But the major feedback that we got from a lot of customers is that they wanted to work with samples, or they'd really like to see a sampler. So this is what we have here now, the P6 Creative Sampler. It shares a lot of the same kind of features of the other range. So we've got a really nice cool color. This one's yellow. They are lithium-ion battery for rechargeable. So you charge it up over USB-C. Get about 3 hours out of this one. And like the others in the series, we've got sort of mini jack, MIDI in and out. You can sync them up to other small devices. We have audio. Then when we go into the sampling mode, if you press the lo-fi button, you can see on the screen here it's changing the sample rate. So from 44.1, 22, 40.7, or 11. Yeah. Let me just, so there's a few different ways that we can sample into it. So you can sample, we have an inbuilt microphone if you just want to capture some stuff on there. You can also sample from the mix input, but you can also sample over USB from your smartphone, which I'll do in a minute, or from your computer. And we also have a P6 desktop app as well for Mac and Windows, so you can sort of drag and drop samples on there, do a bit of housekeeping around them, which is pretty cool. So yeah, if I just want to record using the inbuilt microphone, I just hit sampling, choose pad 5. When I press sampling again, you can see it's picking up my voice here on the microphone.
Oh, nice.
If I hit this, it'll go into standby, and then we just say something. The sampling rate's really the different level. By using the lo-fi button, we can choose hit sampling, pad 1, sampling again, we're in standby, hit my loop. And because we specified the tempo and did 2 bars, it's not there.
What?
I've got to give a quick shout out to the drummer on this, my friend John Sim. He's an amazing session drummer, the drum tamer. If you check him out online. John. That's recorded now. And just
Can we do all 3 and then started and just repeat it?
Got a bass sound here. Great for those things. So if we choose, like, say, that middle one, and I'm
just going to bounce around, guys, so bear with me, because this is really cool stuff that they do here.
Great effects to it. Some nice compression. But if we go to cassette mode, vinyl sim. So if you're into your lo-fi sampling, it's really, really good.
It's really good.
And the thing is, I'll go through the effects and stuff in a bit of we'll do like a bit of a performance. But if we wanted to use a bit of the sequencer, so let's say I've got some of the samples that we've. So I've got some basic things. If I wanted to program a little pattern, as I say, we can do up to 64 steps, but we'll just do a 16 one for now. So I'm going to go for something a bit. 8-time micro adjustments. I'm going to put a. And then, if you want, you can record in real time as well, either quantized or unquantized as well. So very easy to kind of get stuff down, which is good. And you can even record knob movements and stuff in the pattern.
Oh, so record your... Yeah, like you just... Yeah, sorry. You just said it, but I get so excited I just repeat it.
Got a bass sound here, so if we wanted to.
So this is very cool because now you can record the knob movements, the modulation, the effects, everything. Where I wish they had done that on the other ones. You can't do that with the other ones, unfortunately. But I think that's very cool that they're allowing you to do that now on the sample version of it. And again, the thing about this, it kind of kills me is the price, and we'll get into that in a bit. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's very cool. I love Jack's expressions because Jack's never seen this before until now, and I love the fact that he's not a shill. Obviously, he works for Andertons, but I love his expressions because things blow his mind and he really gets excited about stuff. So let's check this out.
Melodically, so if I've got a bass sound or any sort of sampler really, if you press keyboard, and you can even put it in polyphonic if you wanted to.
How many voices have we got in polyphonic?
So the sampler as a whole will do up to 16 voices.
Wow. And so when you started playing this, do you set it to a scale or is this like chromatic?
It's just chromatic, yeah.
Cool.
So whatever sample you load in, so I sampled in, I think it was like note C4.
Yeah.
And then obviously it'll assign it to that note. Wow. But now in this pattern, I can just play in a. With any of the sounds as well, you can apply, as I say, filters or pitch envelopes. So if I just mute out the drums for a second. if we go to our filter menu, I can apply, say, a low pass filter. This is already quite basic, I suppose, but we can add some resonance to it.
And no, you see, can we record that into a pattern? Shall we do a bit of that?
So if I hit record, yeah, a little bit of the end there and things. You can also do pitch envelope and things like that, which is very, very cool. If we go back to other cool things that we can do with samples, so if I go back to
So that's very cool. I like, and that's one thing I always liked about Korg stuff was, you know, I was always able to record in effects or record in modulations and things like that, or you know, record the filter in. I wish more companies would do that. Because especially if you're doing live jams and playing on the fly, I think it'd be so much fun to do that, is being able to just record the stuff in, and then you wouldn't have to, you know, do it later on. I don't know. I just think it's cool. What does it say here? I don't see how to select the color on Sweetwater. Color for what? For the Aria? The Aria is coming, the colors they come in. So like this guy is kind of like I want to say like a pinkish red color. Oh, there we go. This is the vocoder, like I said, which is very cool. It's the one I kept, and I also kept the T8. But yeah, the Seafoam green one, that's I believe the S series or whatever it's called. I forget what it is. But yeah, so Synth Samurai says it would be cool if you could interlock these and turn them into a giant synthesizer like Voltron. Well, they all do interlock. They all do. I get what you're saying. They all do connect though with cables. And that's one thing. I had all three of them going at one time. If you go back and watch some of the videos that I had, you'll actually see that. So, but yeah, so let's get back to the video and check it out.
Drum loop that we recorded in from my phone. One thing that we can do is we can chop up our samples. So if you've got a drum loop like this and you think, oh, actually, I'd quite like to remix it or something like that. If I go Shift, Voice, and find in the menu Chop, you can chop it up to 64 little slices if you wanted to, or chops. I'll just do 4. And then we go to keyboard mode. So it chops it up like that. So if I wanted to, say, perform, I could do. And record that into your pattern. But of course, because we can do pitching and stuff, so if I, let's say, pitch this sample up a little bit, let's go, say, up 7 or something like that. And then record that in. So let's say I'm going to roughly, let's say, the tempo for this. In fact, actually, let me just go to a new pattern.
Oh, Andy, you're doing so good, mate.
Roughly the tempo, let's say, is about 170.
It's pretty cool that you can do that.
Yeah, because we're seeing this before it's ever come out. And sometimes when I react to things, you've got to forgive me. I know nothing about this. You'll know because it's the day of, this is in the shops, right?
So it's released today. But they're very available at the end of the month.
Cool, great. Oh, mate, fantastic.
So, so say if we wanted to record a pattern, sort of like, just performing it in real time, and
So, yeah, I like the way you could do that. And it's kind of cool. It's Random Farm Recordings. The synth one of the series was a bit of a surprise. Roland has hit it. Absolutely, man. It is a powerful little box. I think it blows away the teenage engineering thing. It's Roland, man. I mean, Roland makes great stuff. I noticed, Uncle Jerry, you did get a TR8S, or is it a TR8? It was a TR8S, I believe. Great drum machine. You're going to love it. I've already sampled stuff into it. Again, Roland makes great stuff, you know. But I just want to go back and show you a little bit about this. One thing I do like is how easy it is to create on this. There is a lot of shift kind of menu diving kind of stuff. And that's one thing about the Aira is it's kind of a pain in the butt. You don't really have a screen to work with. So there's a lot of different shift keys that you have to use, but let's check it out.
Let's do it 64 is because, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's now saving those samples on the same pad. So maybe if I hit sample and
is that based on an input threshold?
Yeah,
each one.
Yeah.
Wow,
so you
cool.
can specify -12, -9, -3.
How great! Yeah, like if you had 6 strings on a guitar, you could do 6 steps, and it will kind of know that you're going to do. Wow.
So if we.
I just want to answer this question here. Wonder if it syncs up with the Korg vocal stuff. Random Farm Recordings asked that question. Yes, you can hook it up through Volcas, because on the unit itself, it does have sync input and output, and it has MIDI input and output on it too. So, and it has mix. So yes, you can do that. You can hook them up to Volcas. I've seen people do it, which is very cool. And they're great little boxes. I'm just saying, you know, if I do my studio over like I plan to, I probably will set up my Volcas next to my Wasps and my Cat, and probably throw in the two Arias that I have, the compacts. Let's get back to the video because I want you to check this out. This is pretty cool.
To record, and then if you and I clap together, maybe.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's now saving those, and so they should be recorded on this pad. So now when we go to keyboard, so now we've got these, and we recorded these at a low sort of sample rate.
Yeah.
So we did it at the really lo-fi kind of rate, but that now means that on that single pad we have now recorded multiple samples. You know, if you're working with six sample pads, but then you've got like you know, multiple different smaller hits like drum samples or anything like that, and you just want to use them on one pad.
Interesting.
It's quite a saving thing, you know. So you can take full advantage.
Because it's pretty unique having a 16-step, almost other control surface to the pads. Because normally in this device it's just pads. And then you got, so that's a very unique feature. And really good at maybe the beginning of performances. I can imagine like Rachel Collins just going to kill that. You know,
exactly.
Where you show people like, here's the ingredients I'm working with, and then.
So if we go back to,
I wish it's almost.
Really allows you to things.
Oh my god, they're gonna sell.
Recording on here.
And I love with all these buttons, it seems like all the major, actually quantize, shuffle, last, all the main features are only just one shift away.
Yeah, exactly.
You've crammed in so many, but it's actually pretty cool. Whereas sometimes on the SP404, I wish it's almost got as many buttons here.
Yeah, I mean, so the SP404 is like, it's a more advanced sampler, so, and it's a lot more capable in terms of all of the different things that you can do.
Yeah.
What's really good about the P6, I think, is it's just quite immediate. It's quite good fun, and just
it's got a
really
allows
battery.
You to it's tiny. Oh my god.
So within that, it just means that you can record multiple different kind of sounds, really, all on the same thing.
Come on, hit me with some performance.
Okay, so I'm going to go to something I've programmed on here. So I have got a bunch of different samples. I've got like a piano kind of part, bass, some little synth tones, with a melody that I programmed, some breaks, and I've also got some vocal sounds as well. So if you hold shift, you can mute out any of the pads. So I'm just going to start with 4. And I've programmed in a bit of a melody, and then we're just going to unmute stuff, and I'm going to play with the effects and just have a bit of fun. And For those of you who are really good with the DJ effects looper, don't crucify me.
Oh yeah, if you don't know about it, it's really hard.
It's all good. So here we go. And then in the MFX style, we've got multiple different things. So we have chorus, things like flanges, cassette sims, vinyl sims. It's really good fun. And the other great thing is, though, is that you can resample. So let's say if
I'm sorry, but that sounded awesome. Yeah. Does it do hurdy-gurdy? I can't even, man. Dude, you could sample in a hurdy-gurdy. That's the beautiful thing about this. I think it's very cool. So who knows? It's on the gas dar, I guess. Uh-oh. But yeah, this next part of it, the resampling, just sounds really good. It's very lo-fi sounding. Does it do video? Sure, man. If you want to scrape some stones together, that'd be great. But let's just check this out. Hold on.
We've just got this as kind of a loop. If I just find a blank sample and I'm going to specify 2 bars, sampling, stand by, and I hit my my pattern.
You just resampled that.
There we go. So we just resampled that. So you can unmute now, and then because I did it with the lo-fi function on it, so this is now resampled that back in.
Oh, and you can keep doing it, washing it down into just a gargly mess.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously you can resample. If we'd had it on 44.1, it would just resample exactly the same quality. But then when it's playing, you can do all that kind of thing. You can pitch it, you can chop it up as we did before and sort of like make it into a new performance if you wanted to, anything like that, which is pretty good. Yeah, another cool feature, the Granular button. So it also has a granular sampler built into it. So this works really well if you've got something that's quite a textured kind of sample, so something like this. Sorry, this one. Say something like this. So what a granular kind of sampler synth engine does is it takes like a really tiny slither of the sound, which they call like a grain, and it sort of allows you to make really sort of...
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a basic sampler, but I mean, it's got some great effects. Now, the granular sampling on this is very cool. I use, sometimes I'll use a thing called Spacecraft, which was created by actually an astrophysics guy who works for the British astrophysics team. And he created this thing called Spacecraft, and you could download it on a Mac or an iPad or a phone, which is kind of cool. But you know, I think it's kind of cool. Again, $219. It's very cool. Let's check out the granular sampler on it, granular effects. I think it's kind of nice. But yes, Hans is asking all the real questions. That's what Hans does, because Hans is a very knowledgeable man. And I'm glad he's on here asking these questions. So yeah, let's check it out and see what you think.
Detailed and textured kind of things. It's really good for ambient kind of tones. So if I press the granular sampler now, it gives me an example. But with my keyboard function, I can play it here. But if I pitch it down, I'm going to go to my mixer and I'm just going to add in some reverb, a bit of delay. Let's make a little pattern on this one. So if let's go to a blank pattern on here. I'm going to put this down to something a bit more chilled and using our samples. So it's just good fun, you know? So you can take like a little kind of portion of something. It works really well with more textured kind of samples like that, but then it just allows you to mess around with it. And you can change sort of the grain shape and the grain position and stuff and things, so it's very, very cool.
How do we access those type of things? So in Granular, I just see that button. But
yeah, so if you just go into, at the bottom here where we've got sample edit. So we can go to voice.
In the voice menu.
And
Cool, because if you're not into Granular, those are things, if you're into Granular, you'll want to be able to adjust those.
Yeah, so if you go into head position.
Insane.
And go into
even if it was just that, like, I don't know. I know there are little devices really coming after a lot of kit, this.
Yeah. But we also have pitch envelope, and I say we have filter, we have a really great delay and reverb as a master kind of thing, but as well as also the 15 different, 20 different effects in total. So we have DJ FX looper, we've got pitch, delay, filter, scatter, and then things like chorus, flanger, reverb, ring modulator, the cassette sim, the vinyl sim, and everything like that, and then resample everything on there.
Going into question time, what is the kind of hierarchy of, are we thinking in projects, or you just turn it on, like you said, you've got all these?
So yeah, I don't know. I think it's very cool. It's got a lot of stuff involved in it. And yes, it's a lot of that shift menu diving kind of thing without a display to see really what you're doing, and tiny little text at the bottom of the keys, the key buttons. I don't know. I kind of think it's cool. Again, a lot of people are trying to break into, like Hans was saying, the sample world. The teenage engineering one, I don't know. I wasn't very convinced about that. I've had teenage engineering stuff before. They're fun. They're great little boxes. They sound amazing when you hook them up. They're big. There's a lot of big sound that comes out of them. But the Knockout 2, I wasn't impressed, especially with the fader issue, fader gate. But the Aria stuff is cool. I own a couple of pieces. The J6 thing, it just wasn't for me. I thought it would be cool. I checked it out. I played around with it. I made a couple of videos with it. It sounds real nice. One of the things that I had an issue with, though, Roland doesn't give you the little adapter, the MIDI adapter, one of these things. One of these guys. I had to buy these separate on Amazon. I got a couple from Sweetwater as well. and they should really give you this because they don't. They give you a USB-C cable, which is cool. But they should have thrown this in. Korg throws this stuff in. Why couldn't they? You know, so that's one of the gripes I have about that. You know, the other thing is, again, the tiny text at the bottom. You know, I'm old. I'm 62 years old. I have to wear glasses to see the tiny text on a lot of my synths. The Donor B1, I don't know what they were thinking with that. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I don't really care. I like it. I think it sounds amazing. But they show the picture on their website with the white text on the front panel, and the ones that they ship to you have black and gray text, which is on a gray and black background, which is impossible to see. So I don't know. I don't know why they made that. Maybe it was a mistake. Who knows? You know, I just think that you know, this is a pretty cool little unit for the money. $219. I don't know. I don't know why it's more than the others. The others are $199. You know, it's $19 more, whatever. But still, I just don't understand that. But, you know, and the other thing is, you know, you can do, because this is a looper, this guy has, where am I here? This guy has looping built into it, which is basically sampling. I don't care what anybody says, looping is sampling. It is. That's what it is. This has effects built into it as well. Hans Volt doesn't like the scatter feature. On this unit, when you use the scatter feature, the nice thing is, because when you hook it up MIDI, it'll actually, if you're using a DAW, it'll actually keep the scatter feature in time, which I thought was cool. You know, I'm just reading some of the comments here. Yeah, hear the scatter feature effect that doesn't mess up the timing, right? And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mess up the timing if you plug it in to a DAW. It actually keeps the timing, which I thought was cool. So anyway, I don't know how that works with this. I mean, him and Jack were just going back and forth, showing you some of the features and stuff. Go back and watch the whole video. I was jumping around. I was messing around with it. Yeah, man, I agree. I have a scatter feature on what else? On one of my other vocoders. I think the VT3. That one doesn't sync up with MIDI. I don't know why. But on this one it does. On the little Roland Aira it does, and I thought that was kind of neat that it stayed in time with the DAW. So I don't know if that's because it's USB, because you can use the little MIDI connectors to do USB, but I just plugged it in through USB-C, and it does keep the scatter function in time, which I thought was cool. Paulo says Akai is king of that stuff. Well, yeah, I totally agree. The MPC series with Akai's made, you know, that's what it's designed for, is to do all kinds of shape shifting and scatter features. And again, I'm not a big fan of the the MPC stuff. It's USB MIDI. Yeah, it is. It's USB MIDI, and you can also sync it up with these little MIDI connectors. There's these about $2 or $3, I think, on Amazon. Synth Samurai, if you're still there, you know, he's all about his MPC now. He upgraded it, so he doesn't know if he's going to get rid of it. Who knows? We don't know. Samurai, you still out there? You going to get rid of it or what, dude? You going to keep it? You going to get rid of it? What are you going to do? You know, we're all out. We're all anticipating that. Yes, Akai is the king daddy of that. Absolutely, Seth. So, you know, I wanted to do a video on this because I woke up this morning to this video with Jack and Anderton's music, and I always liked Jack. I like his videos. And I just thought it was cool, you know. Once you learn the MPC, it's an amazing piece of hardware. Yeah, I know it is, and trust me, I know guys that use them. There's a couple of friends of mine that do hip hop and stuff, and they love it. You know, it just was never a thing for me. I've always been a DAW guy. You know, I've always been a DAW guy, and I've always recorded all my stuff using DAWs. And you know, I started out back in the day using Easy Vision, then went to Vision Pro. Then that company got bought out by Gibson, and they trashed it because that's what companies that don't know about DAWs do. Actually, I started out with Cakewalk back in the day on a PC that I had. Yeah, you know, I moved up to that. Then I went from that to Digital Performer. I used for years. I love Digital Performer. And then I got involved with Logic Pro 10 when it became an Apple product. It's funny, years ago, I had a guy give me a copy of Logic when it was owned by the British company. I forget the name. Was it Magic? Magic or something like that? Or I don't know. And I hated it. It was just so horrible. You had to literally go in and use this system where you had to connect all the wires and make sure. It was awful. So I stayed away from that and went to Digital Performer, which, like I said, I used for a long time. I met Chuck Sorek, the owner of Sweetwater, at Macworld in Boston, and I bought my first copy of Digital Performer off of him. He was actually there at Macworld in the booth selling product from Sweetwater, and he was a really cool guy. eMagic, I believe that's what it was called, eMagic, who owned Logic Pro. And so then I got turned on to Logic Pro when it got bought by Apple, and I learned how to use it, and that's all I've been using ever since. I think it's really cool, you know. So yeah, anyway, guys, I just thought it was kind of cool to show this video. I wanted to jump on and do another live video today. I know I did the Synth Hefner video this morning. Samurai's got me doing. I actually ordered a Synth Hefner robe, so I'm going to be wearing, when we do the Synth Hefner morning show, I'm going to be doing that in that Synth Hefner robe. Oh, God, I don't know. Anyway, but, you know, probably going to be doing something later on tonight, maybe a live jam. I don't know. I got to get back into the music. I've been doing a lot of these videos. Anyway, yeah, man, you know, I appreciate you guys. I got a lot of you guys in here. I got Uncle Jerry, I got Seth, I got Hans Volt, I got Synth Samurai, I've got Random Farm Recordings, I've got Apollo, I got Smarty 1970, I got Kieran Moore. Who else do I have in here? Let me see. Man, I got you guys. It's so awesome that you guys jump in on my channel and participate. Much appreciated. You know, I'm trying to remember everybody. Let's see. Synth Geek, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. All you guys are great. I appreciate it. Love the I love the community that we're creating and have created, thanks to Synth Samurai. There. Always giving him kudos because he's the one that got me started into doing this stuff. But yeah, you know, love it. Love the community. Love you guys. And like I always say, stay frosty, stay creative. Here I am. Peace. All right, guys. Have a good day. Maybe we'll check out some live stuff tonight. No, Samurai, you the man. All right, man. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.